On the broadcast tonight from here in Ohio, NBC News exclusive on the trail in this critical battleground state. Our exclusive interview with Governor Sarah Palin and Senator John McCain. And the news today from Governor Palin. Out of work, big layoffs now across the country from Wall Street to small businesses, the biggest job losses since the period after 9/11. And hot topic, a place where safe, clean energy comes from inside the earth. Question is, could it work here? Nightly News begins now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. Tonight finds us in a suburb of Akron in the great state of Ohio. Green High School, to be exact, the scene of a joint McCain-Palin rally today and the scene of our extended conversation with both candidates here today. We spent a lot of time with both. It's a lot of television, and we're going to air it in parts the way the conversation took place. While we were here today on Wall Street in New York, the markets plunged. At one point, the Dow was down as much as 690 points before bouncing to a 514-point loss at the closing bell. And what a day it's been for the McCain-Palin campaign. The story about her wardrobe broke overnight. $150,000 worth of clothing from top retailers for Palin and her family, clothing that was bought with Republican Party funds. Campaign says the clothes will be donated to charity. Then there are the polls out there, our own, showing the GOP ticket 10 points down, with most respondents now saying Sarah Palin is not qualified to be president. Before we begin airing the conversation, this moment first from late in our conversation that will make news tonight about the growing request these days for Sarah Palin to release her medical records. Did I hear you just agree to release your medical records?
The medical records, so be it. If that will allow some curiosity, or thing that they can either check the box off that they can find something to criticize perhaps, or find something to rest them assured over, fine. I'm healthy, happy, had 5 kids. That's going to be in the medical records. Never been seriously ill or hurt. You'll see that in the medical records if they're released.
That came as a bit of a surprise to the McCain-Palin campaign. Now the question is timing of the release. Here now the first part of our conversation with the GOP ticket here in Ohio today. Senator, I'll begin with your observation on the tarmac. You came in today. There's not one but 2 planes with your name on the side. You immediately started reminiscing about the depths of New Hampshire. It was you and your garment bag coming off a commercial flight. But here you are, you're down. You're down in money.
Yep.
How do you stay up?
Down in money, down in the polls. We got them just where we want.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, that's when we do best, really, Brian. I've always done best when we're running some little bit behind and got to catch up, and that's somehow... I've been very blessed. We seem to catch fire, and lately we have seen in the last several days or week, we've seen ever since the debate, we've seen some uptick, and we got about 3 or 4 points to go, and we can win this thing.
Did this campaign get out of your control? And here's what I mean. A lot of people who know you well saw you take that microphone from that woman in Wisconsin, and for the first time in a long time they said, that's John McCain.
Brian, they either haven't been paying attention or don't want to. In my speech at the convention, I spoke of my admiration for Senator Obama, the fact that he had motivated so many people. I have said continuously of my respect for him, but that doesn't change my view that there are stark differences. And when I'm president, there's not going to be an international crisis that Senator Biden can guarantee. I'm not going to raise people's taxes in a bad economy. Look, we've got very big differences, but I've always been respectful of Senator Obama, and he is now spending more money than any campaign in American history on negative ads against me. But look, that's fine. American people are paying attention.
You mentioned Senator Biden's comment the other day about a new president and a test of the new president's mettle. One of your very closest friends in the Senate, Joe Lieberman, said on Face the Nation, quote, "Our enemies will test the new president early." And it has happened throughout modern history.
Well, look, I've been tested. They know me. they know me very well. I've been tested. Senator Biden said it. What if Sarah Ryan said it? Oh, my God. It would have been terrible. Can you imagine? His own running mate said it's because he's young and new and untested. That's why Senator Biden said, mark my words. Mark my words is what he said, that there's going to be an international crisis. And then he compared it to the Cuban Missile Crisis. My friend, I was in the Cuban Missile Crisis. I was on the aircraft carrier Enterprise in the air wing. We were close to nuclear war. I wouldn't predict that that's remarkable. When a vice presidential candidate predicts because a young, untested president is going to face an international crisis like the Cuban Missile Crisis, unbelievable. Americans know I've been tested.
Governor Palin, yesterday you tied this notion of an early test to the new president with this notion of preconditions. That you both have been hammering the Obama campaign on. First of all, what in your mind is a precondition?
You have to have some diplomatic strategy going into a meeting with someone like Ahmadinejad or Kim Jong-il, one of these dictators that would seek to destroy America or her allies. It is so naive and so dangerous for a presidential candidate to just proclaim that they would be willing to sit down with a leader like Ahmadinejad and just talk about the problems, the issues that are facing them. So that's some ill-preparedness right there. But following up with your comment about Biden also, when Biden, what he had done the other night to his Democrat donors and talking to them in a fundraiser, warning them, saying, mark my word, there will be an international crisis if Barack Obama is elected, he was confirming what he had been saying all along in the primary race. He had warned voters that Barack was not prepared yet to be president and that the presidency is not a place for on-the-job training. So there was confirmation that in the comments that he made. When he says the new president will be tested, though, I'm missing how that's different from Senator Lieberman saying, quote, our enemies will test the new president early.
Look, I don't know when Joe Lieberman said that, but Joe Lieberman is supporting me. The main reason probably is because he thinks America is going to be safer and more secure with me as president. Otherwise, he wouldn't have crossed party lines and come over almost unprecedented and support my candidacy. So I don't know exactly what Joe Lieberman was saying, but I know that Joe Lieberman is convinced that this country and this world will be a lot safer place with me president. If he thought there was some kind of equivalency, he probably would have stayed in his own party as far as which nominee he supported. But I want to go back again to Sarah's point, and that is that we now have a guarantee saying because he's young and untested. That's what part of Senator Biden's rant was. And that because he's young and untested, and then Senator Obama will probably do what the donors don't agree with. I mean, this is probably one of those moments in American political history that stands out. And I think the American people are going to pay attention. I think it's the most telling comment that has been made yet on this campaign trail in all of these months. I think that has been the most significant comment. That's my personal opinion on this. But for Biden, too, to have been the one to say he would be so honored to run on a McCain ticket because he knew that way, if Senator McCain is elected president, that our country would be better off. I think there's some significance there, too, in the comment made.
Let me ask you both about what must have been a hurtful Sunday for you, especially you, Senator McCain, Colin Powell's endorsement of Barack Obama. And Governor, respectfully, the heart of his quote about Governor Palin, Senator McCain, I don't believe she's ready to be president of the United States, which is the job of vice president. And so that raised some question in my mind as to the judgment that Senator McCain made. When you heard those words from a man you've known for a long time, what was your reaction? Saying basically we have little to judge these future leaders on except for the big decision of picking a running mate. Well, I know that if General Powell had wanted to meet Governor Palin, we could have arranged that easily, number one. But number two is, then obviously General Powell does not know Governor Palin's record. Reform. Governor, 24,000 employees, I believe, of the state of Alaska.
negotiated a $40 billion natural gas pipeline by taking on the oil and gas interests, took on the governor of her own party who was an incumbent, stood up against corruption, cut taxes, gave her constituents money back, shares my worldview, has, frankly, in all due respect, a son who's got his life on the line right now in defense of freedom. And that's not qualified? Tell me what is qualified. I am overjoyed to have a person who's a real reformer. What Americans want right now more than anything else, they want us to reform the way we do business in Washington, and they want our economy put back on track. Here's a proven record. And so all I can say is, I see all these attacks on Governor Palin. I don't live in a bubble. But those people obviously are either not paying attention to or don't care about the record of the most popular governor in the United States of America.
And look, let me interrupt for a second here, too. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I do have more executive experience than Barack Obama even has, dealing with multi-billion-dollar budgets and thousands of employees in positions as mayor, as a manager, as a regulator of oil and gas, and then as governor. But let's not forget also, in this context of one endorsement, Senator Colin Powell, that you have received the endorsement of at least 4 former secretaries of state and hundreds,
Five former secretaries,
and hundreds of retired top U.S. brass and U.S. military brass that see also in John McCain the ability to win the wars and to keep our nation safe. And, of course, those who are in more economic-minded also, who are endorsing John McCain because they know, too, that he will get our economy back on track. He will reduce taxes on our small businesses and on our families so that we can keep more of what we produce and earn, so that we can hire more people as business owners. That's how jobs are created. That's how the economy gets rolling. And he's got that in him. He's got that in his plan, and that's recognized. So I'm appreciative of all the endorsements that you have received.
Henry Kissinger, George Shultz, Jim Baker, Larry Eagleberger, and Al Haig. All of those have been strong supporters of mine, plus 200 or more retired generals and admirals. I'm more proud of that.
Just part of our time with the two of them today. One note from part of that interview, the questioner at the rally who erroneously said Barack Obama's an Arab, my error, that happened in Minnesota, not Wisconsin. Tomorrow night on this broadcast, we will continue with much more of our interview with Senator McCain and Governor Palin, as we have a lot more ground to cover. As for Senator Obama, he met with his senior foreign policy team today and addressed that remark his running mate Joe Biden made last weekend that Senator McCain mentioned in the interview, as did Governor Palin. Biden said if Obama wins the election, he'll be tested by a foreign policy crisis in the first few months of his presidency, as John Kennedy was tested by the Cuban Missile Crisis. Today, Obama said there will be tests, but he largely brushed off Biden's comment.
I think that Joe sometimes engages in rhetorical flourishes, but I think that his core point was that the next administration is going to be tested regardless of who it is, because of the fact that we have, the next administration is going to be inheriting a whole host of really big problems.
Senator Obama from earlier today, he'll now leave the campaign trail tomorrow and Friday to travel to Hawaii to see his 85-year-old grandmother, whose health is reported to be very fragile. When we continue this Wednesday night from Ohio, more on the U.S. economy, the financial meltdown really starting to hit home. Layoffs are starting to gallop across the country at their highest level now in years. And later, the notion of heating your home with energy from the center of the earth will take you to a place where they're doing it.
My baby left for college, and for the mess he left, I needed a pain reliever for my back. Took some classes of my own and got something else for arthritis pain. Went high-tech and needed a headache medicine, too. Every new pain, a different pain reliever. But now Advil is my every pain reliever. Advil works wherever I hurt, and nothing's proven stronger on tough pain. So whatever happens, I'm all Advil.
And now, the James Beard Foundation Rising Star Chef of the Year, Christopher Lee, on the art of cooking.
use stock. And when I'm cooking at home, that means use Swanson stock. It keeps the meat juicy and brings out the natural flavors.
So if you want to cook like Chef Christopher Lee, cook with new Swanson stock.
Tired of morning coming in the middle of the night? Ask your prescriber about 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep, and unlike other sleep aids, a second dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Plan to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, severe allergic reactions can occur. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. Like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. To wake up ready for your day, ask your prescriber for 2-layer Ambien CR.
We've got a big job in explaining some big issues. This is one of the few places left where you're going to find journalism and journalists. A great man once said, these are serious times for serious people. I think we've all got to be paying attention. We've got a financial system in crisis, troops on the ground in 2 wars. What does it all mean? Where are we headed? Our job is to make sense of it. This is what we do. We saw at the top of the broadcast tonight, stocks fell sharply again today on worries about corporate profits as Wachovia, the bank being bought up by Wells Fargo, reported the biggest quarterly loss for any bank ever, $24 billion. And the place where all this seems to be leading, hitting home the hardest, job losses. Here in Ohio, unemployment claims doubled in September from a year before. A scene being repeated across this country, sadly. Our report tonight from CNBC's Trish Regan.
Record job losses. Corporations slashing their ranks at a level not seen since 9/11, in the midst of what economists say is surely a recession. News today that pharmaceutical giant Merck will cut more than 7,000 jobs. This on the heels of Yahoo's 1,500 layoffs, National City's 4,000 layoffs, and PepsiCo's 3,300 job cuts. Since October 1st, more than 60,000 layoffs nationwide. The hardest hit industry, pharmaceuticals, with an estimated 9,000 job cuts, 7,000 job losses in financial services, 5,000 in food, auto, and electronics, and 3,000 job cuts in computers. Economists say the country's economic prospects now the worst since the recession of 1973.
You haven't seen anything yet in terms of job losses, any luxury items, any durable goods that you could put off the purchase for a few months. All of those things, all of the jobs associated with those products are at greater risk going forward.
That could spell even more trouble for Tom and Jeanette Kimball of Detroit.
It's not looking too good. All the financial jobs are out the window.
Tom was recently laid off from his job as a mortgage banker. Jeanette lost her job in retail nearly 6 months ago.
It's very stressful.
They're struggling to make ends meet and take care of their 2-year-old son.
You have to do what you have to do to, put food on the table. So now it's like, okay, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do here?
Tom says he may switch career paths and is now looking for a job in education.
That's wonderful. Do you have a resume? I do.
But even that industry is feeling the pain. In Dallas this week, hundreds of laid-off teachers gathered at a job fair looking for new opportunities.
We just pray and hope that everything will turn out okay.
The problem is a recession is a difficult cycle to break. The higher the unemployment rate, the less consumers spend, the less money companies earn, and the more they lay off. Until consumers begin feeling confident, economists say, buckle up. Trish Regan, CNBC, New York.
And we're back in a moment with news today about a cancer discovery that could, they say, lead to new treatments.
When you have a cold, you want something that makes you feel warmer, more comfortable, and something that makes you feel better. New Tylenol warming liquids relieve your painful cold symptoms to help you rest easier and give you a gentle warming sensation. So not only do you feel warmer, you feel better all over.
I was one of those people too who was like, soy, I was a little weary about it. And then when I drank it, I was like, this is so good.
Silk has soy protein, antioxidants, and omega-3s, plus all the calcium and vitamins A and D of milk. Silk, take a step forward.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Senator Obama, I am not President Bush. True, but you did vote with Bush 90% of the time. Tax breaks for big corporations and the wealthy, but almost nothing for the middle class. Same as Bush. Keep spending $10 billion a month in Iraq while our own economy struggles. Same as Bush. You may not be George Bush, but I voted with the president over 90% of the time, higher than a lot of my even Republican colleagues.
Constipation, bloating, gas, diarrhea. People, is your colon sending you a message? Now there's new Philips Colon Health with probiotics. It helps naturally restore the balance in your digestive system, so you can avoid those very unpleasant symptoms with new Philips Colon Health.
Are you like me? I have high blood pressure, and I have high cholesterol.
But he treats both with one pill.
Catawit makes it easier to manage my two conditions. Catawit contains two proven medicines, one for lowering high blood pressure, the other for lowering high cholesterol, combined in one pill. Catawit. That works for me.
Catawit is one of many treatment options, in addition to diet and exercise that he discussed with his doctor.
Catawit is not for everyone. It's not for people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. To check for liver problems, you need simple blood tests. Tell your doctor about any heart problems and all other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Along with diet and exercise, Catawit effectively lowers both high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Two medicines, one pill. Ask your doctor if Catawit is right for you. There's apparently been another fatal case of friendly fire in Afghanistan. The U.S. military acknowledging that a case of mistaken identity on both sides may have led to a U.S. coalition airstrike today that killed 9 Afghan soldiers. The Pentagon is still trying to sort out exactly what went wrong. In health news tonight, a breakthrough that could lead to new lung cancer treatments tailored to individual patients. Scientists in the U.S. and Germany have identified 26 separate genes that, when damaged, appear to promote the most common form of lung cancer. Scientists hope that by identifying these gene mutations, of course, they can someday develop targeted therapies. There's been an astonishing piece of research in the science world. It has to do with great stamina over great distances. Scientists tracked the flight of a particular bird, a female bar-tailed godwit, starting from its nesting ground in Alaska, non-stop, all the way to New Zealand. No layovers, no food, no rest. 7,257 miles, almost the length of the entire Pacific Ocean, a journey previously thought to be only possible by aircraft. And we're back in a moment with an unusual energy source in a nation right now looking for a few.
What is it? I told you the Wi-Fi doesn't work in here.
No, it's this. What do I do?
This is lunch, not tech.
Yeah, I need you to talk me through it the first time.
You need me to talk you through add water, microwave, strain, and stir.
Whoa, what is that, Japanese?
Hey, how did you become a vice president again?
Well, they didn't want to give me more money, so they gave me a title. Pretty sweet, huh?
Just help him. He's been standing there an hour.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah.
Made fresh from your desk. Cook it, strain it, mix it, love it. New Healthy Choice Fresh Mixers.
Hey, it's me, Water. Hi. You'll never guess where I just came from. No, not a plastic bottle. Believe it or not, there are other places to get drinking water. Give up? The faucet. Yup, the chrome thingy above the sink. I know, shocking, right? It turns out that when I'm filtered, I'm pretty darn awesome. So if you need a tall, cooled glass of awesome, I will be in the kitchen. Pure, good, clean water.
Well, when you come into Fidelity for guidance, you talk about your goals, review your investments, and then you get a strategy.
Right.
And you get account updates to help keep you on track. Or have it all managed for you with Fidelity Portfolio Advisory Service.
Yeah,
And all this comes with Fidelity's 60 years of money management experience. But I should let him talk. He's the one who works here.
Oh, I think you covered it.
Good.
No, really, good job.
Investment guidance from Fidelity. Get started with a complimentary portfolio review.
My name is Jane, and I've got osteoporosis, but I'm an on-the-go woman. I've been active all my life. That's why I'm excited about Reclass, the osteoporosis treatment my doctor gives me once a year. My doctor says one IV of Reclass can help protect me while I'm on the go for 12 months. How? Well, Reclass helps to re-strengthen my bones to help make them resistant to fracture. And with Reclass, well, no other osteoporosis treatment is approved to help protect in more places. Hip, spine, even other bones.
You should not take Reclast if you're on Zometa, have low blood calcium, kidney problems, or you're pregnant, plan to become pregnant, or nursing. Take calcium and vitamin D daily. Tell your doctor if you develop severe muscle, bone, or joint pain, or if you have dental problems, as rarely jaw problems have been reported. The most common side effects include flu-like symptoms, fever, muscle or joint pain, and headache.
Do what I did. Ask your doctor about Reclass. Year-long protection for on-the-go women.
This is a KGW News Channel 8 update.
Next, did you get a flu shot? Thousands of people who rolled up their sleeves at Kaiser may not be protected after all. The glitch with their shot. And should OHSU security guards be allowed to carry guns? Well, you'll need to carry your sunglasses. We've got a dry forecast, but a cool down. Some changes for the weekend at 6.
Finally tonight, news on the alternative energy front. The Interior Department said today it will make nearly 200 million acres of land available in 12 western states for geothermal energy development. That could produce enough electricity for 5 million homes, they say. We were first told about this back in the 70s. Other nations are already using it, as we learn tonight from our chief science correspondent, Robert Bazell, who reports on our planet from Iceland tonight.
In Gudbjörg Pálsdóttir's apartment in Reykjavik, Iceland, all of the energy comes from one source. For the lights, the heat, and the warm water to bathe her daughter, Hedda Sarah.
What is this? This is the top of a geothermal well.
That source is geothermal energy. Natural heat from the fiery interior of the Earth. It can be among the most economical green energy sources.
Compared to some of the other alternatives, geothermal is a baseload, reliable power. Once you get it running, it's there.
Iceland's heat and power used to come from coal. The only fossil fuel there now is gasoline for vehicles. Geothermal, or hydropower plants, provide all its heating and electricity.
Iceland is ideal for geothermal energy because so much of the Earth's heat is close to the surface. You can see the steam all around me from superheated water coming right out of the Earth.
In many parts of the United States, the Earth's heat is close enough to the surface to provide economical energy. Now geothermal provides about 1/3 of 1% of U.S. energy. But a recent MIT report said it could be 10% within decades. Geyser Green Energy's geothermal plant in Iceland is typical. Water is pumped into the naturally hot rocks beneath the Earth's surface. That causes steam to rise through other pipes. The steam in turn runs electrical generators or flows directly to homes and businesses, drastically reducing energy bills. When the plant began operations, the runoff would not sink back into the volcanic soil, so huge pools built up.
We have a lot of foreign guests coming to Iceland.
That warm, mineral-filled water became the Blue Lagoon Spa.
This is the most popular tourist attraction in Iceland now. We received over 400,000 guests last year.
A spa from the same natural heat in the Earth. It can provide cheap and clean energy. Robert Bazell, NBC News, Reykjavik.
And that is our broadcast for this Wednesday night. Thank you for being with us. I'm Brian Williams, reporting tonight from Green High School, just outside Akron, Ohio. We hope to see you tomorrow evening from New York. Good night.
Tarnished image. He's a Medford businessman and a community volunteer. But police say he came to the Portland area for a rendezvous with 2 underage girls he thought he met online. The sting that snared him. Speaking out, he spent 5 nights on Mount Adams alone and cold before rescuers reached him.
You know, I had to do things to keep myself going. If I'm ever going to be found, I have to stay alive.
What this stranded climber did to survive. And think you're covered? It's that time of year for flu shots. But if you got yours at this Kaiser clinic, why the vaccine may not work.
From the KGW HD studios, where the news comes first. News Channel 8 at 6 starts now.
Hello, I'm Laurel Porter. In tonight for Tracy.
And I'm Joe Donlin. First at 6, internet sexting. Officers swoop in on a prominent Oregon travel agent, a Medford man whose community involvement makes his arrest so surprising, and it was all caught on tape. News Channel 8's Kylie Moshe's been digging into this case. He's here now, and Kyle, this man is charged with trying to lure young girls.
That is correct, but late today, Joe, a judge ruled that this man be released. The suspect is expected to be released any moment. And according to officials, he'll walk through that gate. But prosecutors warn he can't walk away from his...
Pacific Oncology, offering advanced diagnostic imaging services and state-of-the-art medical oncology and radiation therapy in an integrated cancer care center.
The Oregon Community Foundation, working with people like you to improve life in Oregon, helping to create charitable funds for the causes you care about. Online at OCF.